So we are doing the question number one, 50 marks question of September, December 25 exams relating to advanced performance management, APM, right? So first thing first, what we will do, we will look at the requirements first. Okay. Um, as far as the requirements are concerned, we have it is now 1st September 2005. Write a report to the CEO of Neaty to respond. Neaty to respond uh, to her instructions for the work on the following areas, current reporting system. There will be 5 marks available for the first part of the work required on this area and 14 marks available for the second part of the work required on this area. Then we have balance scorecard, 15 marks available. Then third, words get measured, gets done. Professional marks will be awarded for demonstration of skills in communication analysis and evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen in your answer. 10 marks are available for it. So far, so good. Now, what we will do straight away, copy all this thing, Control C, and we will paste it on our first word processor. Here it is. Paste. This is it. We no longer require the requirements area now. Now, the following exhibits available on the left-hand side of the screen provide information relevant to the question. Company information, background, industry, overall objectives of the company, Neaty manufacturing, Neaty, current reporting system, information relating to the work required by the CEO on the current reporting system at Neaty, balance scorecard proposal, information relating to the work required on a proposal to introduce the balance scorecard, at Neaty, what's get measured gets done, a request by the CEO for the work on the impact of introducing the BSC on employee, that is balance scorecard on employee behavior, Appendix 1, current performance report of Neaty, Appendix 2, example, balance scorecard proposed for use at Neaty. This instruction should be used to answer the question requirements within your chosen response options. Okay. So here it is, company information. Now, let us start looking at it. Come on, yeah. So, Neaty Manufacturing is a listed company and it operates one large manufacturing plant in D-Land. Neaty manufactures plant, which it sells to a large retail outlets. The main customers of the retail outlets are both the public who buy paint to decorate their own houses, professional painters, decorators. Neaty has stated its overall objective is to generate value for our shareholders. So, the overall objective is to generate value for overall shareholders through ensuring consistent customer delight, excellent product quality, innovative approach to everything we do. Okay, right. So paint is manufacturing the 5-stage processes. Each stage of work involves a manual operation, quality control. The processes are well established with the only variety in the processes being in the different types of paint and colors which are produced. Most employees in this industry are relatively unskilled and follow the instruction of management with regard to their specific work activities. These activities in its state of 5-stage processes are mostly repetitive. Okay, the industry in which Neaty operates is developing rapidly. In a recent press release, the CEO of a rival company stated the nature of the change in this industry is fundamental. Margins are decreasing. There has been significant consolidation in the industry through merger and acquisition activity. In the last 5 years, the number of foreign suppliers offer a cheaper product is increasing. There are continual changes in health and safety legislation that we must react to. Okay. Now, current reporting system. Here it is. So second. So the CEO of the Neaty agrees with the comments made about the paint industry and is concerned that Neaty performance reporting system is used to assess annual performance at the strategic board level, does not reflect its stated overall objectives. She has asked you to undertake two tasks in relation to the performance reporting system. Okay. And what was this? Firstly, she would like you to perform the calculation necessary to complete the performance report in Appendix 1. Secondly, she would like you to undertake an evaluation of the current performance reporting system. However, you have been specifically asked not to suggest any new performance measures. So we got the two tasks related to it, Control C, and we will go to our word processor. Here it is. And here we copy this, right? So straight away, what we will say for calculations, refer the spreadsheet. Okay. And bingo. Now we will move to the appendix 1 over here. Let it be loading. So come on. Finally. Yes. So here is Neaty performance report for the year ended 30th June, X4 and X5, right? We have revenue, we have purchases, gross profit for 2005 and X4. Okay, selling expenses, general admin expenses, legal compliance expenses, total other operating costs, operating profits, interest expense, PBIT, income tax expense, profit for the period, dividend, retained earnings, assets and liabilities. We have non-current assets, we have current asset, receivable, inventory, cash at and current liabilities, non-current liabilities, assets, and number of employees are given, number of factory floor injuries, average processing time per product, inventory holding period required for the both years. Okay. WAC is 9 for each year. ROCE required for 2005, not applicable for X4. Residual income, again for X5, not applicable for X4. Waste percentage of cost of sales, 3 and 5. number of shares, millions. Then dividend per share is required. Okay, current ratio is required. The the notes are given. The inventory figure is a mixture of raw material, work in progress, finished goods. Denotes of figures to be calculated, not applicable, indicates there is insufficient information to undertake this calculation. Okay, so far so good. Now we will open another spreadsheet. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Let us start calculation. So, I can open the calculations required. What's happening? Oh, no, I don't need it. Yeah, yeah. So, the calculation required to complete the performance report are as follows. Two years, 2000x5, 2000x4, inventory holding period, and the days. So, inventory holding period and days are going over here. 220 and 150. So it's 220 divided by 820. Sorry, 220 divided by 320. Multiply by 365. So it's 250.94. 150 divided by 150 divided by 300. Next, 150 divided by 300 multiply by 365. 182.5. Okay. Uh, Now, next is ROCE, return on capital employed. So ROCE, for ROCE, what we need to do? So here it is, our working one. Okay, our average capital employed, we need average capital employed, which is equal to 975 plus 823 divided by 2. Okay. Uh-oh. One mistake. Let me correct it. 890 is correct over here now. Okay. So for this, profit before interest and tax, profit before interest and tax, 65 and 133. 65 divided by 899. We get 0.0723. In this case, this again. Oh, sorry, no, not profit before interest and tax. And I took the figure wrongly of profit before income taxes. So let me correct it. It's 91. Now 10.12. 10.12 and for 2000 X4, it's non-applicable. We cannot do it. We have to mention it over here. We get the complete mark. So far, so good. Then residual income. Residual income we have to compute. So residual income formula is operating profit minus capital employed into required rate of return, right? Therefore, what we will get in this case 10.09. 10.09%. Okay, and it's non-applicable here. Same way, dividend per share. Dividend per share is 1.14 and 1.33. I'm assuming, the formulas over here, nothing. Uh, too hard over here, so that's why I'm just punching current ratio. Uh, 8.4 is to 1, 10.2 is to 1, right? And we are done with the calculation part. I hope it's clear. So after that, we are done with the calculation part. We will move to the our word processor now. And here it is. So now here it is. Two chief executive officer, CEO of Neaty Company from an accountant. Date 1st September 2005. Subject performance report and balance scorecard at Neaty Company. This report evaluates performance reporting overall at Neaty Company overall at Neaty. Initially, Neaty's current performance report used at strategic board level is evaluated. Next, the appropriateness of the example balance scorecard, which is known as BSC, is evaluated, and finally a discussion is undertaken of the suggested measures for the balance scorecard and how this may create an attitude of words get measured, of words get measured, get done. Right? Uh, we already did the calculation, so we refer it for calculation, refer the spreadsheet, right? We are done with it. Now, evaluation of the current performance report. Evaluation of the, okay. So what, here it is. Evaluation of the current performance report. Control B. Yo, that's ours. We are done with the 5 marks so far. Now let us get another 40 marks. The performance report will be discussed. The performance report will be discussed in the light of whether it addresses the objective, overall objectives of the company and in terms of its presentation. The current objective of Neaty can be broken down into an overall objective and the critical success factors by which the objective will be achieved. The objective is to generate value to shareholders, and this will be achieved through ensuring consistent customer delight, ensuring excellent product quality, having an innovative approach to everything Neaty does. So here, the first thing is generating value for shareholders is our first heading. The aim of generating value for shareholder. The aim of generating value for shareholders is not directly measured in the current report, The current report details profit-based figures which are a reflection of past and not future performance. They are also short-term in nature, while also short-term in nature, while the shareholders are are likely to be more interested in Neaty's ability to generate value in long term. Additionally, shareholders are likely to be more interested. Sorry, additionally, ROCE can be uh, affected by companies' depreciation policy and may have a relatively low correlation with shareholder returns. It can also lead to potential dysfunctional behavior by encouraging non-investment to retain a high ROCE percentage. So, so further, what we'll say, there is no direct indicator of value, though the company does measure residual income (RI) as this is a measure which considers the cost of capital and, and therefore relates to the return which a shareholder may expect. from Neaty. It gives an indication of Neaty's ability to generate value and is a much better proxy for a value enhancement than the other profit based measures which are used here. However, however, uh, RI still uses accounting based information as the basis for its calculation and therefore suffers from similar limitations to the profit based measures. Neaty also measures total dividends paid and dividends per share. Dividend payments alone are an inadequate measure of generating value for shareholders as they do not include any measure of share price appreciation. Okay. In Nitty's case, it does it does appear as though they are committed to paying out the sum of how much dollar 24 million in dividends, which may harm future investments, as Niti will have less money to invest in future value enhancing projects. Alternatively, It may suggest that Neaty is paying out such sums as it has no such projects to invest in. So far, so good. Next, we will discuss about consistent customer delight. There is no clear indicator as how Neaty might measure. No clear indicator as to how Neaty might measure customer delight or what delight actually means. The use of the word delight in one of Neaty's critical success factors suggests that they are uh, aspiring to achieve a response from customers which is beyond satisfaction, yet there is nothing in place in the strategic report to indicate how they might achieve this. The measure of average manufacturing time per product. Per product appears on appears one which is more addressed to considering Unity's internal efficiencies than it does to addressing how quickly customers are looking for delivery, shortening the production period from 5 days to 3. For example, maybe a redundant measure if the customer is seeking delivery within 24 hours. It is clear that the report lacks any input at all from the customer, and that as it stands, the report is all equipped to judge or measure measure any aspect of customer satisfaction, let alone customer delight. Right? So far, so good. Further, we can talk about what? Yeah, excellent product quality. So, excellent product quality. No, sorry. Yeah, no direct measure of product quality is offered in the current report. This success factor is linked very closely with the factor regarding customer delight, as it is the customer who would ultimately be the judge of product quality. The only indicator which at all appears to address which at all appears to address the quality of what Neaty produces is the waste factor. To some extent, waste is inevitable, inevitable in any industry, and especially in one where different liquids are mixed together to produce a final product. So it may not, therefore, be inappropriate for the total waste to be considered at strategic board level. Nevertheless, waste is an operational measure of internal efficiency and not of product quality. So far, out of 19, we have covered 14 marks, five more to get, right? Uh, so, one more innovation. There are no indicators of product or process innovation of product or process innovation in the current report. Manufacturing time has reduced, but it cannot be assumed but it cannot be assumed this is due to any innovation in the manufacturing process. It is much more likely to be due to the downturn in business which Neaty is currently experiencing. Overall, the report does not have any focus does not have any focus on any measure or process which would suggest Neaty has an innovative approach to its operations. Now, 4 marks to get, and now we will look at the other factors. So there are no external indicators or comparators in the report. Comparisons with close competitors and or industry averages are vital in assessing relative performance and would demonstrate a genuine interest in generating value for shareholders. No indication is given of any trend is given of any trend in performance. Neaty certainly having an unfavorable year in 2005, but there is no information given as to whether this may be simply an unfortunate year or perhaps more likely an indication of in which the way in which current market forces are affecting them. A budget figure would have helped clarify this, as would a commentary section, which is common in such reports, neither is in evidence in Neaty's report. The report does offer a clear indication as to Neaty financial performance and highlights the number of injuries on the factory floor So neither the seriousness nor cost of these injuries is clear. There is also an indication of short-term liquidity through current ratios and cash. Additionally, there is an indirect indication of long-term liquidity, as it is clear that Neaty has taken Neaty has taken on a significant long-term loan of dollar 90 million in 2005. So it would be helpful to have some indication, perhaps in a commentary section, as to what the loan was for. That's it. I hope it is clear still here. And now we will move to the next part, which is a balance scorecard. Okay. Now, let's move to our second part of the question, and which is balance scorecard proposal. So let us look at that. One thing. Second appendix is for, okay, here it is. Needy CFO recently attended a conference on the benefits of using the balance scorecard as a strategic management tool. He included to the CEO that Needy would benefit from using the BSE as a reporting system at a strategic board level, and suggested that Needy commences using it as soon as possible. Okay. In addition, he presented to the CEO as an example of two of the BSE perspective used by the presenter at the conference. Appendix 2, he suggested to the CEO that Neeti could use the measures contained in this example for both the customer and the innovation and the learning perspective. He believed that for the two perspectives, this measure presented both Neeti's overall objectives, demands of the environmental is currently operating. So CEO is asked for an evaluation of, okay, in this example, BSC and Neeti customer and innovation and learning perspective, you have not been asked to suggest any new measures. No new measures, just an evaluation of the current one. Just a second. Just a second. Yeah. So here it is. Evaluation of a CVO proposal to use the measures in the BSc Neaty for customers, innovation, learning prospectives. We'll see. And here is our the processor now. Here it is. So let's dive in and start with it. So first our heading is customer, right? In this regard, here we go. The- So market share is an appropriate measure. Appropriate measure at a very broad level, as it would tell Neaty how much of the market it is capturing. However, relative market share would be much more appropriate, as this would give Neaty an indication as to how it was performing with regards to its biggest competitors. See, uh, neither of those measures offer an indication as to the potential threat of new entrants. However, and native would be advised to advise to be aware of this, as it is a very significant factor which will affect its profitability. Indicator, sorry, made a measure as simple as number of new entrants into the marketplace would be useful, especially if it was aligned to the growth of the size of the market, size of the market, and dollar million. This measure would indicate if new entrants were capitalizing on a growing market or taking market share in a stagnant market from existing companies. If the later scenario was the case, this would be of much more concern to Neaty. Okay, brand awareness is likely to be difficult to achieve for Neaty, or Neaty. It would require a customer survey which has the difficulties noted. Above, the overall objective is also focused on customer delight and not just brand awareness. Additionally, brand loyalty is arguably more important to Needy as this is likely to reflect customer delight and deter new entrants. This is evidence also by the fact new entrants have been able to penetrate the market, which would not be in the case if brand if the brand strength of the current operators had been a barrier to entry. Next head is innovation and learning. So initially, it should be noted that a staff attitude survey, attitude survey in itself is not a measure. Presumably, the measure is whether staff are happy in their work and whether morale is good or bad. In that sense, a staff attitude survey may help Neaty from the perspective of gauging the morale of its employees, but it is unlikely to be appropriate to be appropriate in the innovation and learning perspective for a company which manufactures a well established product in well established market. The survey and the measure suggested above, the measure and the survey suggested above is more appropriate in a company where the employees are the source of innovation, perhaps in a company where the intellectual capital is the bulk of the capital in the company. So consulting its employees may be useful for the needy within the innovation and learning perspectives, but it would best be done by focusing on areas such as suggesting improvements. Okay, percentage of sales from new products like an appropriate measure for a company which has an innovation approach to everything we do at the heart of its mission. However, the mission, however, the measure would require further qualification to be meaningful. Specifically, a new product would require to be defined as that may relate to a product which was launched in the past year, the past 2 years or the past 6 months. There is also an argument for introducing a measure which is more based on percentage past 2 years or 6 months. Sorry, I repeat it. There is also an argument for introducing a measure which is more based on percentage of profit rather than percentage of sales, as the existing measure contains an assumption that new products are profitable, which may not be the case. Revenue per employee seems to be a meaningless measure for Neaty. Again, this measure would be more appropriate to a company whose main assets are intellectual rather than tangible. It says nothing about any innovation in process improvement or overall learning capacity within Neaty. So Neaty is perhaps best to think of innovation as reflecting a mentality of how can we do things. We do this in a slightly better and more effective way, or how can costs be reduced through innovation in practice rather than by having a focus on product development. Innovation and learning could be better considered. Therefore, by considering aspects such as reduction in process time, Neaty is currently doing. So far, so good. Now the next requirement that is words gets measured gets done. We have to look at the last of the exhibits now. And here we go. So the CEO is concerned that the implementing the BSc might affect employee behavior in Neaty. In particular, she has heard the phrase "words get measured, gets done," and she would like you to explain specifically how the use of the BSc could create an attitude for words get measured, get done, and the challenges this could bring for Neaty. Okay. So, so what we will say on it? What gets measured gets done means that regularly measuring something and reporting on it will focus attention on it. The input activity or output being measured should be a key performance indicator, and achieving it should help ensure okay should help ensure that the company strategic goals are achieved, right? So this can, however, bring with it behavioral problems. This can, however, bring with it behavioral problems. The BSE inevitably inevitably increases the number of performance management metrics which NEET will utilize with individuals and departments. Having responsibility for achieving those metrics. This creates an ownership culture and if individuals or department having responsibility for achieving departments uh, understand their performance is being judged against certain metrics, then they are likely to ensure that they will achieve those metrics, perhaps by meeting the target at the expense of another individual, department, not achieving its target. An example here may be the achievement of market share at the expense, market share at the expense of profit margin. This behavior would be expected to become more entrenched if an individual department bonus was attached to the measure. Right, so far so good. There is also a danger in the word gets measured, get done mentality may focus attention of what happens with regard to significant areas which are either not being measured or are hard to measure. It is most likely that they would be simply ignored uh, with the focus or mindset with the focus or mindset of Neaty being purely on achieving the measure detailed. And the last one, a focus on percentage of sales. A focus on percentage of sales from new products. For example, may focus attention in Niti on producing new products when customers may value value, well established, and traditional products, particularly in the area of paint, this could lead employees to pursue better performance to achieve a specific performance measure and ignore the demands of the market. That's it. See, simple what I did overall. It's just 1 mark per valid point, right? Uh, so that's how you need to do it. 1 mark per valid point and just appropriate use of headings. See, we have 19 marks for it, 5 marks for the calculation, which we did in our spreadsheet. That's it. That's how I did it. And I hope you can the drafting technique. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Uh, right, just leave this off. All this for our own reference. And then see, all done. And we are done with the first question. That's all. We should have done it. Uh, that's it. Take care. Bye bye.